Have you ever woken up feeling slightly off? Maybe there's a dull pressure behind your eyes. Maybe you feel dizzy when you sit up. Maybe your heart feels like it's racing for no clear reason. Most people blame it on poor sleep or dehydration, or just getting older. But what if the real trigger happened hours earlier? What if it was something you ate before bed? I'm Dr. Christina Serrati, and today I want to talk about a nighttime habit that almost no one connects to stroke risk, especially adults over 50. And it may shock you. It's fruit. Now, before you panic, I am not anti-fruit. Fruit is powerful. It contains antioxidants, fiber, hydration, vitamins. But here's what many people don't understand. Timing matters. Portion size matters. Metabolic health matters. And after 60, your body does not process food the same way it did at 30. At night, your body shifts into repair mode. Blood pressure naturally fluctuates. Your brain begins its detox cycle. Hormones rebalance. This is a delicate window. When you introduce a sudden sugar load during this time, even from natural sources, it can disrupt blood vessel stability, stress hormones, and overnight circulation. And there's one fruit in particular that causes more nighttime metabolic stress than most people realize. It's not exotic. It's not rare. It's probably sitting in your refrigerator right now. Grapes. Yes, ordinary grapes. I know. They seem harmless, clean, light, refreshing. But here's what concerns me and my patients over 55. A bowl of grapes after dinner can contain 20 to 30 grams of fast-absorbing sugar. Even though it's natural, your liver processes fructose differently than glucose. It bypasses certain insulin checkpoints. That means your blood sugar can rise quickly and then crash several hours later. And here's the dangerous part. That crash often happens between 2 o'clock and 4 a.m. when blood sugar drops suddenly during sleep. Your body releases stress hormones, cortisol, and adrenaline to compensate. That hormonal surge tightens blood vessels. It raises blood pressure. That increases heart rate. In someone with stiff arteries, high blood pressure, or insulin resistance, that spike can be enough to trigger a serious vascular event, including stroke. Most people never connect a 3 a.m. blood pressure spike to the grapes they ate at 9:30 p.m., but the body connects it. In the next part, I'm going to explain exactly why grapes are uniquely disruptive at night and who is at the highest risk. Let's go deeper. Because this isn't just about fruit has sugar, it's about what happens inside. Your body, specifically at night, when your physiology is most vulnerable. I want you to imagine your body after 8 p.m. Digestion slows. Insulin sensitivity naturally decreases. Your nervous system begins shifting into parasympathetic mode. Repair, restoration, detoxification. Your brain starts clearing metabolic waste through the glymphatic system. Blood vessels subtly adjust their tone. Blood pressure patterns begin their overnight rhythm. Now introduce a bowl of grapes into that system. Grapes are particularly high in fructose, a form of sugar that goes straight to the liver. Unlike glucose, fructose doesn't trigger a strong insulin signal immediately. That sounds harmless, but here's the issue. It can sneak up on you. Your liver converts excess fructose into stored energy. If you're over 50, insulin resistant, or less metabolically flexible, this conversion process becomes inefficient. Blood sugar rises higher than expected. But it doesn't stop there. Several hours later, often in the early morning hours, your blood sugar may drop rapidly. This phenomenon is called reactive nocturnal hypoglycemia. And when your brain senses falling glucose levels during sleep, it panics. It releases cortisol. It releases adrenaline. It tightens blood vessels to preserve circulation. That's when people wake up with a pounding heart with pressure in the head. Feeling anxious for no reason or dizzy when standing for someone with fragile arteries, that early morning surge is not minor. It's the exact window when stroke risk naturally peaks. Now, let's talk about potassium. Grapes are also relatively high in potassium. Normally, potassium is heart protective. But many adults over 60 take medications that alter electrolyte balance, including blood pressure medications. ACE inhibitors, diuretics, certain heart rhythm drugs if potassium levels fluctuate too much at night. It can affect heart rhythm and kidney balance, especially if hydration is low. Then there's a third layer most people ignore: pesticide residues. Conventional grapes consistently rank high on residue testing lists. Even when washed, trace amounts can remain on the skin. In sensitive individuals, especially those already managing inflammation, that added inflammatory load may subtly irritate blood vessels over time. Inflammation plus sugar spikes plus cortisol surges equals vascular stress. And vascular stress is what increases stroke risk. Now, let me be clear. I am not saying grapes are poison. During the daytime, when you're active and insulin sensitivity is higher, grapes are far less problematic. But at night, that's a different biological environment. The same food behaves differently depending on timing. For adults over 55, timing can be everything. Okay, in the next section, I'm going to explain exactly who needs to be most cautious with nighttime grapes, because not everyone responds the same way. Now, let's talk about something very important. Not everyone who eats grapes at night will have a problem. But certain people absolutely face higher risk, and many don't realize they fall into these categories. If you're over 55, I want you to listen carefully. The first group is individuals with a history of stroke or mini-strokes, also known as TIS. If you've ever had one, your blood vessels are already more fragile. The lining of your arteries may be slightly damaged. Blood flow regulation in the brain may not be as stable as it once was. A sudden spike in blood sugar followed by a stress hormone surge at 3 a.m. can increase clotting tendency and temporarily constrict cerebral blood vessels. That combination is dangerous. The second group, people with high blood pressure, especially those on medication. Many blood pressure medications alter fluid balance and electrolytes. Some increase potassium retention. Others change how your kidneys process sodium overnight. When you add a potassium-rich sugar-dense snack before bed, you're layering metabolic stress onto an already regulated system. Overnight blood pressure instability is one of the most overlooked stroke triggers in adults over 60. The third group is individuals with diabetes or prediabetes. Here's where things get even more serious. If your body already struggles to regulate blood sugar during the day, nighttime regulation is even more fragile. A bowl of grapes can cause a glucose rise, followed by a reactive drop several hours later. That drop activates cortisol. Cortisol raises blood pressure. Cortisol increases inflammation. Cortisol thickens blood slightly by shifting fluid balance. Repeated nightly spikes and crashes can silently damage small blood vessels in the brain, eyes, and kidneys. The fourth group, people who wake up between 2 o'clock and 4 a.m. regularly. If this is you, your body is already signaling metabolic stress. Many people think it's anxiety, or aging, or insomnia. But often, it's a blood sugar instability pattern. You go to bed feeling fine but wake up alert, heart pounding, mind racing. I immediately look at nighttime snacking habits, especially fruit consumed alone. There's also another overlooked group, individuals with chronic inflammation, high cholesterol, fatty liver, or thick blood. If your doctor has ever mentioned elevated triglycerides, elevated fasting glucose, or elevated inflammatory markers, nighttime sugar spikes are not your friend. They amplify everything. And finally, dehydration makes all of this worse. If you sleep in air conditioning, if it's hot weather, if you don't drink enough water, your blood becomes slightly more concentrated overnight. Add a stress hormone surge to that, and viscosity increases further. And thicker blood flows less smoothly through already aging vessels. Now again, this is not fear-based messaging. This is physiology. Your body after 60 is simply less forgiving. But here's the good news. There are fruits that actually support sleep, calm blood vessels, and protect the brain instead of stressing it. And in the next section, I'm going to show you exactly which ones those are. Now here's the part I love sharing, because this isn't about restriction. It's about smarter choices. If you enjoy having something light and fresh in the evening, you don't have to give that up. You simply need to choose fruits that work with your nighttime biology instead of against it. Let's start with one of my favorites, kiwi. Kiwi is surprisingly powerful for sleep and vascular health. It contains natural serotonin, a precursor to melatonin, the hormone that regulates your sleep cycle. Unlike high-sugar fruits, kiwi is relatively low on the glycemic scale and rich in soluble fiber. That means it digests slowly. Instead of spiking your blood sugar, it helps stabilize it. When blood sugar remains steady overnight, your cortisol stays low. Your blood vessels stay relaxed. Your heart rhythm stays more stable, and your brain can move into deeper, restorative sleep cycles. For adults over 60, deeper sleep means better blood vessel repair and better toxin clearance in the brain. That directly reduces long-term stroke and cognitive decline risk. Next, let's talk about tart cherries. Not sweet cherries, tart or sour cherries. These are one of the richest natural sources of melatonin. And melatonin is more than a sleep hormone. It's a vascular protector. It reduces oxidative stress inside blood vessels and supports healthy endothelial function, the inner lining of your arteries. After age 50, natural melatonin production drops. That decline is one reason sleep becomes lighter and more fragmented. A small serving of tart cherries in the evening can gently reinforce your circadian rhythm without triggering a sugar surge. They also contain anti-inflammatory compounds that calm vascular irritation, something especially important if you have high blood pressure or metabolic syndrome. Then we have blueberries. Blueberries are rich in anthocyanins, powerful antioxidants that protect the tiny blood vessels in your brain. They are lower in sugar compared to grapes and contain fiber that slows absorption. When eaten in a modest portion, about half a cup, they do not create dramatic glucose fluctuations. I often recommend pairing blueberries with a spoonful of Greek yogurt or a few chia seeds. That combination slows digestion even further and provides protein or healthy fat to buffer any sugar impact. This transforms fruit from a dessert into a therapeutic snack. And finally, the underrated one, pear. Pears are gentle, cooling, high in fiber, moderate in sugar. They support digestion and help prevent that heavy, bloated feeling at night. Stable digestion equals stable blood sugar. Stable blood sugar equals stable blood pressure. And stable blood pressure overnight is one of the most protective things you can give your brain. Notice the pattern. These fruits are not just less risky. They actively support relaxation, circulation, and sleep biology. After 8 p.m., your body is no longer in fuel-burning mode. It's in repair mode. So your evening food should support repair, not stimulate stress hormones. In the next section, I'm going to give you 4 simple rules that allow you to eat fruit at night safely, without guilt, and without risking your vascular health. Now, let's make this practical, because fruit is not the enemy. Poor timing and poor pairing are. Over the years, I've given my patients for very simple rules when it comes to eating fruit in the evening. These rules dramatically reduce blood sugar swings, protect overnight circulation, and help stabilize sleep. If you follow these consistently, you can still enjoy fruit without silently stressing your heart and brain. Here's rule number 1. Eat fruit at least 90 minutes before bed. This is critical. Your body needs time to digest and stabilize blood sugar before you lie down. If you eat fruit and go to sleep 20 or 30 minutes later, your metabolism stays activated. Your insulin rises, your body temperature shifts. Your nervous system doesn't fully relax. That interferes with deep sleep, the phase when your brain repairs blood vessels and clears metabolic waste. Give your body a buffer window. Rule number 2. Never eat fruit alone if you're over 50. Fruit by itself absorbs quickly. But when you pair it with protein or healthy fat, absorption slows dramatically. A few almonds, a spoonful of Greek yogurt, some walnuts, even chia seeds. These combinations blunt sugar spikes and prevent that 3 a.m. cortisol surge. This one small change can completely eliminate early morning wake-ups for some people. Rule number 3. Control the portion. This is where many people unknowingly go wrong. A bowl of grapes can easily become 2 cups. That can equal 30 to 40 grams of sugar. At night, you want half a cup to 1 small cup maximum, depending on the fruit. Remember, after dark, your body is less insulin sensitive. The same portion you tolerate at 2 p.m. may behave differently at 9 p.m. Gentle nourishment is the goal, not a sugar load. And rule number 4, avoid juice, dried fruit, and canned fruit at night. Juice removes fiber, which is what slows sugar absorption. Dried fruit concentrates sugar dramatically. Canned fruit often contains added syrups. These forms hit your bloodstream fast. Faster rise, faster crash. Stronger cortisol response. Whole fresh fruit is always the safest option. Let me add one more bonus rule. If you consistently wake up between 2 o'clock and 4 a.m., experiment with removing nighttime fruit entirely for 5 days. Notice what happens. Many people are shocked at how quickly their sleep stabilizes. Because here's the truth. After 60, your metabolism is more sensitive. Your blood vessels are less elastic. Your hormonal rhythms are more fragile. That doesn't mean you're weak. It means precision matters more. In the final part, I'm going to bring everything together and give you a simple action plan you can start tonight. Let's bring this all together. Because this isn't really about grapes. It's about understanding your body's rhythm and respecting it. After the age of 50, your metabolism changes. Your blood vessels stiffen slightly. Your insulin sensitivity declines. Your sleep becomes lighter. Small choices begin to have bigger consequences. A bowl of grapes at 9:30 p.m. might not seem significant, but if that bowl triggers a glucose spike, followed by a 3 a.m. crash, followed by a cortisol surge, followed by a blood pressure spike, and that pattern repeats several nights a week for years, that's when vascular damage accumulates. Stroke risk doesn't usually come from one dramatic event. It builds quietly through repeated stress. Now here's the empowering part. You don't need extreme diets. You don't need complicated supplements. You don't need fear. You need awareness and small strategic adjustments. Here is your simple action plan. First, move high-sugar fruits like grapes earlier in the day. Ideally before 4 p.m., when your body is more insulin sensitive and active. Second, if you want fruit at night, choose kiwi, tart, cherries, blueberries, or pear in modest portions. Third, always pair fruit with protein or healthy fat. Fourth, stop eating fruit at least 90 minutes before bed. Fifth, if you're waking up between 2 o'clock and 4 a.m. regularly, experiment with removing nighttime fruit entirely for 1 week and observe the difference. You may notice deeper sleep, fewer early awakenings, more stable morning energy, less dizziness upon standing, fewer morning headaches. Your body communicates through patterns. When you wake up feeling off, it's not random, it's feedback. And protecting your brain is not only about medications or medical procedures, it's about reducing nightly vascular stress. It's about stabilizing blood sugar. It's about calming stress hormones. It's about creating an environment where your arteries can relax, not constrict while you sleep. So, no, fruit is not the villain, but timing is powerful, okay? And precision becomes essential as we age. Tonight, take a look at your evening habits. Ask yourself, is this snack helping my body repair? Or quietly pushing it into stress mode? Small changes done consistently protect you more than dramatic changes done briefly. I'm Dr. Christina Serrati. If this helped you see your nighttime habits differently, share it with someone over 55 who snacks on fruit before bed. And tell me, do you usually eat fruit at night? Your answer might help someone else realize they're not alone.